Hey yogis, I'm Nicole. Welcome back to My Yoga Time. Today is another short yoga snack which is ideal to start your day with, but of course you can practice it at any time. So reaching for your block, let's come down onto your back. And we'll come into a low supported bridge pose. And then take a hold of your left leg. Interlace the fingers around the thigh. And create a little bit of resistance here. So push the leg into the hands, pull the hands into the leg. And as you inhale, let's point the toes. And exhale to flex the foot. And be sure to place the tip of your tongue where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth. Keeping the jaw relaxed. So finding a gentle tone in the back of your throat. And let's bend that left leg now. If it feels okay for your back, straighten and relax your right leg. And you might like to just rock that left leg from side to side if you're feeling a little tight through those hips. And as you inhale, notice the navel rising towards the thigh. And take a moment to pause before you exhale slowly. And throughout this practice, let the breath moving the body be your point of concentration. And when the mind wanders, just guiding it back. Changing sides now. Creating that push-pull effect between a right leg and hands. And moving the foot with the breath. Bending that right knee now. Option to straighten and relax the left leg. And for your last few breaths here, feel free to straighten and relax both legs, or if the back is catching in any way, bend the knees. Arms can be by your side or above the head. And just observing the navel rise and fall with the ebb and flow of your breath. And bending those knees now, let's lift up the hips, remove your block. Touching down, cupping those hands over the knees. Bend the elbows as you exhale, and on the inhalation, straightening the arms. So a very simple yet effective way to counter stretch the spine. So continue with this motion if you need to, otherwise moving on to reclined pigeon, left leg. So any concerns with your knee or hip, you might choose to stay here. A little deeper if you place a block underneath the foot, or final variation, let's cactus arms and raise that right foot off the mat. And if you have the urge to rock from side to side or move in and out a few times, feel free. And last option, if you're quite supple through those hips, you can lower your left foot down a little and reach for your right calf. And let's release. Changing sides. And it's okay if you take a slightly different variation from one side to the other, depending on your hip and knee. And if you did so on the other side, lower that right foot down a little, reaching for your left calf. And let's release. So either roll to your side and come up to seated, or if you can, cross at the ankles, reach for those big toes and take a few rounds. And coming all the way up. Well done. Let's move over onto all fours. Take those hands just a little bit wider than the shoulders. Curl those toes under. Inhale into your back bend. Exhaling to round. Option 1 is as you are. Option 2, with that rounded spine, lift those hips up, downward facing dog. Holding here as you inhale. And then exhaling, knees back down to the mat. Keep moving with your breath. 2 more. And holding this downward facing dog, pressing into the pads of the fingers, sending your chest towards your thighs. Option here to raise the right leg, either keeping the leg straight and the hip square, or if you can, stack the right hip on top of the left, bend the knee, looking under your armpit. And then straightening that leg, square the hips, step it through into a low lunge, left knee to the mat. Inhale those arms up. Option 1, you can stay here. Option 2, taking a twist, bringing those palms together and hooking your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Try and squeeze the feet towards one another here. Deepen your breath. Now let's return to the front, taking half pyramid pose here, hips moving back, straightening that right leg and pointing those toes up towards the ceiling. Of course, you can use your blocks if you need to. Now let's stay up nice and high on those fingertips to begin with and feel like you're trying to drag that right heel back. A little lift through the tailbone will deepen that lengthening through the hamstrings. Well done. Bend in that right knee, come forward into a lunge, step it back into plank and lower down onto your forearms. Let's find a forearm plank here. So pushing the back of the heart up towards the ceiling, slight tuck of the tailbone. Keep breathing. Checking the position of your tongue and the softness in your jaw. Inhale And exhale, lower those hips down, moving into your Sphinx pose. And here you want to feel as though you're trying to drag those elbows back. Reach the heart forward. Then we'll transition into a wide-legged child's pose. Taking those hips back towards the heels. If you can, bring the elbows a little closer, hands into prayer above the head. And let's return to tabletop. Toes curling under, inhale into your back bend. Exhaling to round, find your downward facing dog. Option to raise the left leg and open out that left hip, bend the knee. Make sure you flex your left foot here. It's so you're trying to kick something away. Straightening the legs, square the hips, step it through into your low lunge. Either staying here or finding your twist. And return to the center, half pyramid pose. So focusing on the hamstrings rather than the back, find that little lift in your tailbone, stay high up on those fingertips, try and drag that left heel back. Well done. Walk the hands forward, take that left leg back, lower those knees to the mat. So here we'll come into a side bend. So taking your right foot out to the side and walking your hands over towards the left. So your left hand, left knee, right foot, all in one straight line. And if you need a little extra support here, just place the block underneath your left hand. Gently send those hips forward. Option 1 is as you are. Option 2 will take a flow. Inhaling. And then as you exhale, take a seat, sweep the arm in front of the body towards the toes, and then inhale to come back up. Do one more. Option to stay as you are, or to go a little further, raise those right fingertips up towards the ceiling and float that right foot up off the mat. To help with your stability here, try to drag your left hand towards your left knee. We'll switch on those obliques. And let's lower down. Bring those hands back to the front. Right leg is still lifted. Let's take that foot over to the left now. Look over your shoulder, pressing into the hands, the hip and the heel. And return to center. Moving into gate pose on the other side. Left leg out. Hands walk over to the right. Left arm overhead. Sending those hips forward. And either staying here or taking your flow. And staying upright now, either enjoying this side stretch or for a little more core, little strength work through the outer hip. Left fingertips up to the ceiling, float left foot up off the mat. And let's lower down. So raising that left foot again, take it over to the right, look over your shoulder, pressing into the hips, the hand, the heel. And let's release. So coming down onto our back once again, a wonderful pose, one of my favorite poses to help reset our bad posture. Coming into your supported fish pose. So you might choose just to use one block here, removing the one under the head if you want to go a little deeper. Make sure that block is lined up with the base of your shoulders. Option to keep those knees bent, or you can straighten and relax the legs. Be sure to take the arms out to the side as high as they'll comfortably go, palms to face the ceiling. And be sure to breathe into the heart center. And when you're ready, yogis, let's bend those knees, turn the palms down, tucking in your chin, come halfway up just to remove the block, and then reclining onto your back once again. You might like to take a moment with the feet wide, knees falling into touch. Or if you have the urge to hold the knees and rock from side to side, feel free to do so. And in your own time, we'll move into Shavasana, just for a minute or so to help reset the body and all the positive benefits of your practice assimilate in the body and the mind. Softening the forehead as you close the eyes down, and the temples, and the tongue and jaw. Inhaling a little deeper now. Feel free to swallow if the mouth is dry, or run the tongue over the teeth, or wiggle toes and fingers. Allowing those urges to move and stretch. And when you're ready, rolling to your preferred side and finding your way up to seated. Thank you for practicing with me today, yogis. I hope you enjoyed your short yoga snack. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to support free yoga on YouTube. And not just my channel, but any teacher that you watch on a regular basis. Wishing you a lovely day. Namaste.